Throughout your journeys in the Mojave, you come across a lot of different factions. One of these many factions are known as the Great Khans. The Great Khans actually trace their roots back to California, beginning with the raided tribe that came out of Vault 15, known simply as the Khans. Back in the spring of 2141, they emerged out of Vault 15 and decided to band together to prepare for the winter. To survive in the wasteland, they decided to become fierce warriors, raiding towns for loot and capturing survivors as slaves. Other raided tribes weren't safe from their wrath either. One major example being the tribal war with the Jackal tribe that lasted 4 years, forcing the Jackals to flee northeast. In 2161, they made a terrible mistake when they decided to kidnap Tandy, daughter of the Shady Sands leader Aradish. The Vault Dweller from Vault 13 would then later come and completely decimate the Khans and free Tandy. With the Khans mostly gone, this gave enough peace and stability for enough time to allow Tandy and her father to make the NCR grow and prosper well into the future, expanding well past Shady Sands. However, the Vault Dweller missed Darren, the son of the leader of the Khans. Darren eventually reformed the Khans into the new Khans, which would cause issues for President Tandy's NCR in 2241, 80 years later. The Chosen One, the grandchild of the Vault Dweller, would eventually help the NCR get vital computer parts that they needed in the settlement of Squat, which the new Khans filled with drifters and vagrants as a protective outer border around their base in Vault 15, in order to protect themselves from the NCR. Once the Chosen One helped get Squat in agreement with NCR, he eventually finds out that the new Khans HQ is actually in Vault 15 near Squat. He eventually finds Darren and unfortunately, or fortunately, is killed in combat, leading to the new Khans being dissolved once again, and the Chosen One finding the vital computer parts Tandy originally wanted. But in 2267, a new leader called Papa Khan would lead a new, stronger tribe called the Great Khans across the Sierra Nevadas and into the Mojave. Upon their arrival, the followers of the Apocalypse, already present in the Mojave, taught them basic science and literacy skills, hoping they would use this knowledge to make medicine for themselves and possibly make them more of a positive force in the wasteland. But the Khans decided to use the knowledge to become highly profitable drug dealers. The Khans were already proficient in this area. However, with the new knowledge they gained, they could be more efficient and produce more, some drugs being used simply to trade for some supplies for the tribe. They effectively became the most powerful tribe in the Mojave through combat prowess, political skill, and the know-how that the followers taught them. This dominance would not last through the return of Mr. House, as when he gained the loyalty of the three main tribes, also known as the Free Families, he provided those tribes with all the supplies they could ever imagine, therefore not only allowing them to not depend on the Great Khans at all, but also able to outnumber and outgun them, which their own Mantas eventually did, driving the Khans completely out of Vegas, forcing them to settle in Bitter Springs. An enemy of old would eventually come back into the Mojave, the NCR. The Great Khans thought it wise to continue their tradition of robbing and pillaging the NCR for revenge. However, in 2278, the Khans abducted and killed 4 NCR soldiers. This caused the NCR to retaliate with as much force as they could in Bitter Springs and practically kill everyone that couldn't escape the massacre in time. The remaining tribals that escaped were permitted by NCR to resettle in Red Rock Canyon without any interference. By 2281, drugs became the main primary income source for the Great Khans, allowing them to get food, purified water, and other basics that are impossible to get inside the canyon. The Great Khans are now shunned upon due to their drugs making it all over the Mojave into multiple towns, some drugs even creating addicts within their own ranks. They also have the Legion trying to worm their way into their tribe for a representative to assimilate their tribe into Caesar's Legion. You as the courier will have many choices to make with the Great Khans, deciding the future fate of this once significant tribe of old with a massive expansive history.
Guess I just had a natural talent for it. When I was a kid, these cats called the Followers of the Apocalypse came to our camp. They knew all kinds of kooky, scientistical stuff, so I ate up all the chemistry they could teach. Diane had to head for business, so we teamed up.
We're supplying things people want in exchange for things our tribe needs. Don't judge us. We make regular shipments to a lot of settlements around the Mojave. A lot of our business comes from the Fiends lately. Personally, I think they're kinda creepy. But Papa likes the fact they get all hopped up on Psycho and harass the NCR patrols. Things have been rough for a while now. Even with Jack working all the time and my runners making deliveries daily, we're barely getting by. Maybe this alliance with Caesar will help, but I don't know. Red Rock Canyon isn't exactly the most hospitable place. There's no food, barely any water, and nothing anybody wants. We used to send patrols out to acquire supplies, but ever since Bitter Springs, there just aren't enough of us left.
The Great Khans came east, out of the NCR 14 years ago. We ruled the wastes then, and called no man master. But we underestimated the families of the Strip, and they drove us back to Bitter Springs, where we remained until the NCR arrived and drove us here. They allied with Mr. House, the self-proclaimed master of New Vegas. He supported them with the resources of New Vegas. Weapons, technology, caps. They were better equipped, and we could not stand against them. When the NCR came to the Mojave, we thought they would be easy pickings. We raided their caravans, their towns, their camps. They couldn't stop us. At least that's what we thought. They tracked us to Bitter Springs and surrounded us. When our children, our sick and old, fled through a nearby pass, the NCR gunned them down. Oh, they claimed it was a miscommunication, but tell that to those who saw our families butchered. Tell it to the survivors who were banished here. It's because of that we have sworn to take revenge on the NCR. With our new allies in Caesar's Legion, we will crush them.
Papa is one of the best leaders the Khans have ever had. He's kept us together through all of our hardships, ever since we left California. Bitter Springs changed him, though. He started to really hate the NCR after the massacre. And sometimes, I worry that's poisoned his mind.